So in a recent video, I mentioned that SKN is really great for just getting a skin tone selection that you can do just about anything with. And I'm also going to review today, a little bit anyway, on the new Photoshop beta. As of mid-December 2024, there's a new beta that has all kinds of AI selection functions, which we also talked about recently. So that's kind of timely, I thought. We're going to talk about that and compare and contrast to this method, because there's a couple things I want to show you today about using SKN and CMX2 to create like a catalog of skin tones, just to kind of use to wash over other skin tones or to wash over your entire images. Skin tones are very inspiring to me, so collecting them, as it were, is kind of cool. So on SKN, it doesn't matter if I'm on cleanup or tone, because I'm not using either one. But if I right click the bottom left button, that's our select skin button. I'm going to leave it on average, but I just want to show you guys again that there's fuzziness choices that you can, kind of play with and see which ones are better. And of course, subject only, which overrides the fuzziness completely and just uses Photoshop's AI for subject selection, which in the beta that has really changed. Where we go with this, with SKN, is going to be very, very interesting. The beta, I've been trying it this morning. It's okay. It's impressive as hell, but it's not completely accurate as of yet. And I'm not sure exactly how we leverage it yet, on SKN. But as always, we're on top of things. Okay, so let's do this for a second. Let's go ahead and click the button. Let SKN get us some kind of skin tone selection. Give that a quick second. I'm also recording, and I've got the beta open as well, so it's a little slower. Now we go straight to CMX2, and while the selection is running, we click the bottom left button, and we do an analysis to extract the palette of the selection. Therefore, we get the skin tone. Okay, so we can, increase the smoothness, look at the more samples that it found. We have a little bit of green. It found some of the green of the shirt. Now, green is an undertone of any skin tone, really, and occasionally that shows up. So that is why the skin tone range is choosing the green of the shirt. But we can, with CMX2, we can turn off that green if we want. Just click it, blend it a little more, and we have a lovely skin tone. And if we go to our presets, we can just say plus, and we can call it like Zoe 1, put it in the skin tones group that I created, hit save. And there you go. There's a skin tone that I can call for anything. I can, double click it and apply it overall to the shot. I can mask out the skin tone, again, with SKN. So for example, let's say I have that CMX2 palette there applied. I'm going to go back here to SKN, select the skin tone again. Or maybe I have the skin tone selected on a channel or on a mask somewhere just to have it at the ready. I do that all the time in a workflow. I have different selections at the ready. Now I go back to my CMX2 folder, apply a mask, and as you can see, it's only on there. Now, granted, on this shot, like I said, there's a lot of tones that roll over, and that's not necessarily a huge crisis. But if for some reason I want to use CMX2 just to tone mostly the skin, I definitely can right here, and I have full control of that with a couple of tools within seconds, which I thought was interesting. Let's pop over to the new beta, like I said, as of mid-December 2024, and let's see how that skin tone selection is working. It's super interesting. Let's go check this out. All right, so here in Photoshop Beta, I leave everything on default when I try out a beta. I'm just curious, like, what's going to explode first? That's how I always work with betas, right? So here's the image open, the exact same file. CMX2 is at the ready. And so at the left here, we have our object selection tool. Now, as you can see immediately when I select it, this little double arrows up here, you see that? It's already spinning. And that's because it's analyzing the image because it has this new cool select people function. Now, as I move my cursor over it, you can see it's already getting select areas. Now, I did this image a minute ago and I realized there are some problems, but look how it does this. Hair, nose even, and then we have the face and we have the lower body, or the rest of the body, I should say, arms and legs, but it did miss this leg. It, bunches it all together for some reason into the boots. Don't know why, but we can click on select people and it shows that, hey, it found the person. You click it, you have all these options. I always click show more just to see what's going on. You could choose the hair, the eyebrows, the eyes, the pupil, whatever. So in this case, I can go, let's say, nose, facial skin, legs, hands, arms, upper body skin, right? Okay, cool. And of course, there's an entire person button. And yes, you can probably surmise that if there's multiple people, it'll find multiple people and you can choose them independently. And of course, we have an accessories button, which is really cool. So it looks to have found, it did better on some other images. Looks like almost have found the boot, but not really. Okay. The mouth, very clear, obvious. Eyes and ears, usually pretty solid selections there. Shoes, Still messed up on that, but that's okay. I mean, I've only tested it for like an hour, so I don't know yet. I know it'll evolve, but let's say I choose all of that and hit apply. I did notice that upon hitting apply, it also takes a little bit of time, which is interesting because, I assume the selection's done, but it must be doing some kind of processing, and that's okay. Don't get me wrong, guys. Like I said, this is still hella impressive, but I think it has a little bit of ways to go. No big deal. But now that I have it selected, I can use CMX2. Click the Analyze button. And now I have the skin tone. As you can see, it did a bit of a better selection because it's using AI to select the actual objects as opposed to color ranges. So that's great because it missed out on the green. It just selected the skin. Now, if the skin had a bunch of green undertones, CMX2 probably would have reflected some of that. As you can see, we have a little bit right here with that semi-yellowish greenish tone there. We can blend it in, and now we have that. And like before, we can go to our gradients, and we can save it. Let me close that real quick. By the way, it's a great demo to show you that on 2 versions of Photoshop, just like, if you had it installed, yes, CMX2 installed on 2 different workstations, your presets are synchronized, which is really, really cool. So I can call this here Zoe 01 AI. Why not, right? And we'll put it in skin tones and we'll save it. And there it is. See that? Pretty straightforward stuff. So it's really interesting how the AI function is working with that object selection tool. Like I said, it's missing a few things in terms of in this shot anyway. I've tried a bunch of other shots and it works pretty well. Very, very useful when you don't need to select the entire subject, obviously. So we're super curious how that's going to evolve. And we're also super curious how we will implement that into SKN, because obviously some way or another, these selections need to be somehow incorporated into SKN. Now, of course, that depends on how Adobe gives us or doesn't give us accessibility to call those functions. We're going to find out how that's going to work as we move forward. But for now, I just want to show you kind of the differences there to create some skin tone collections, if you will, whether you're in the new beta or in the current, as of right now, the current 2025 version. I will say this real quick. In my testing this morning, the beta is a little unstable. So like so many people do, including Unmesh of PixImperfect, will recommend don't try to run beta on your active workstation or to do active projects. It's a little bit unstable, but it's really cool. Super excited about this AI selection functionality, how we're going to implement it into SKN and all of that. So I just want to talk about that a little bit today, and we'll see how Adobe moves forward.